Hi everyone and welcome to this video on different sentence types. Now there are different grammatical sentence types such as simple and compound sentences, but this video is focusing on the functions different sentence types can have, specifically the differences between interrogative, imperative, declarative and exclamatory sentences. So our focus today is what are the different sentence types, what can a speaker or writer's choice of sentence types tell us, and how can I write about these different sentence types? So the four different sentence types are quite simple to understand and work as follows. We have interrogative or interrogative sentences which ask a question. Imperative sentence is a command or request. Declarative sentence declares or tells us something. And exclamatory sentences show strong feelings and end in an exclamation mark. Sometimes students tend to get these four sentence types mixed up, but I think if you look at the words and think about them logically, they're quite easy to remember. For example, for interrogative or interrogative, you think of the word interrogate, which means to question. For declarative, you think of the word declare, and exclamatory, if you think of exclaim or exclamation mark, then these become just really nice, easy bits of terminology that you can use in your writing and analysis of spoken or written language. A few questions to consider with these sentence types are, which of these sentence types is most used? Are any more emotional than the others? And what different reactions might these sentences get? Now, hopefully you'll realise that declarative sentences are used far more than the other types of sentence, as the majority of what we say is declaring something. All my sentences so far in this video would be examples of declarative sentences. If you aren't sure of the answers of the next two questions, hopefully these examples that we're going to go through will help you to come up with some ideas. Here we have an example of each sentence type, which we will imagine for this example are all examples of spoken language rather than written, and they're all discussing the same topic so that we can start to consider the different reactions you would have to each sentence type as a listener or if you're the one using the sentences. It might be useful at this point to pause the video, read through these sentences on your own, think about the different reactions a listener might have and why a speaker might use them, and then come back and listen to my reasoning as well. So here we have the interrogative, why were you late to school today? The imperative, you must be on time to school tomorrow. The declarative, I can see from the register you were late to school today. And the exclamatory, it is so important that you are on time to school. Now for the interrogative, I think the tone in which this is said is incredibly important, as it could sound quite accusatory if you were to say, why were you late to school today? Which might get a negative or defensive reaction from the listener. Or it could be being said with concern. Why were you late to school today? This is the same with the imperative sentence as well, which again might get a defensive reaction from the person being spoken to and could threaten the listener's negative face as they feel they're being imposed upon. If you aren't sure what I mean by negative face, please watch my video that covers this. Now the exclamatory sentence has a lot more emotion, as is to be expected, than the declarative sentence does, which you can imagine being said in a much calmer tone. And really, although it's not asking a direct question, the listener is expecting a response, but not one where the listener may feel that they need to get defensive, like they might do with the imperative or the exclamatory sentence. If I was going to be speaking to one of my students about a topic like this, I would probably use the declarative sentence, unless it was becoming a persistent problem in which I might switch to an imperative or an exclamatory sentence to highlight the importance of what we were discussing. This is the key thing when identifying these different sentence types. You've got to try and figure out why the speaker or writer might have used this particular one and what reaction they want, or what reaction are they likely to get from the listener. So let's look at another example. This time we're imagining that this is a written text in the form of text messages or WhatsApps. So immediately, because of the mode, we're expecting that there's going to be less formality in these messages as well. So let's read through what the two writers are saying. So first we have Helen's message. Amy, I can't believe we only have 2 weeks to get this project completed. Have you finished gathering the data like we discussed? Did you speak to Stephen about the next steps? We must meet up early next week to sort everything. Let me know when you are free. And then we have Amy's message. Hi Helen, I spoke with Stephen, but he said he is still waiting for you to send over the final details, which you said you would do last week. We are ahead of the other groups, but happy to meet up. Now immediately, hopefully you can identify the different sentence types we have here and see a real difference in the tone between Amy and Helen's text due to their choice of sentence types. We have Helen using 2 exclamatory sentences at the start of her message. Foregoing that polite greeting, she just says Amy with an exclamation mark, suggesting there's a close relationship between these writers. Or maybe Helen believes there's a close relationship between these writers. It also helps to show us that Helen is perhaps stressed and panicking about the time they've got left on their project and therefore wanting some action to happen. We then have her using 2 interrogative statements here. Have you finished gathering the data like we discussed? Did you speak to Stephen about the next steps? Which could show her trying to take control in this written conversation, and it also helps to make sure she gets a response from Amy, as it's much ruder to ignore a text or someone that's speaking to you that asks you a direct question than one of the other sentence types, because an interrogative sentence expects a response from the person receiving the text. She then finishes her text with 2 imperative statements within the same sentence. We must meet up early next week to sort everything. Let me know when you are free. With that modal verb must, highlighting again that sense of urgency that she is feeling, and that last imperative, let me know when you are free, again means that Amy has to reply, as this imperative statement requires a direct response from her. So we can see the 3 different sentence types she uses in her message here. Amy's text, hopefully you will notice, is only using declarative sentences, which immediately gives her, I think, a calmer tone to what she's saying. She also starts with that more polite, formal greeting, hi Helen, which could infer she's feeling a less close relationship to Helen than maybe Helen feels to her. It could also maybe show us a little bit of her sense of frustration that she might be feeling at Helen's panic. This is then further emphasised, I think, in her other declarative statements. In particular, when she comments, I've spoken with Stephen, but he said he is still waiting for you to send over the final details, which you said you would do last week. You get this sense that actually they're waiting for Helen to do something rather than Amy. But instead of using an interrogative, she could have said, did you send over the final details like you said you would? Or even an imperative, I need you to send the final details like you said you would. She uses this declarative. Perhaps it protects Helen's negative face, or it could just be to avoid any further arguments or stress between the 2 writers. She also protects Helen's positive face with the statement at the end, but happy to meet up. So she's still willing to go along with what Helen has said, even if she doesn't think it's necessary. There are a lot of different interpretations of these 2 texts that you could go into and you could pick out. So this is by no means an exhaustive list, it's just the things that I've picked out here. Our final thing today then, how do we take what we've seen in this text and write about it in an academic way? Here's my example. In her text, Helen is seen using exclamatory and interrogative sentences in order to get across her sense of urgency that work needs to happen on her project with Amy. Her exclamatory sentence, I can't believe we only have 2 weeks to get this project completed, highlights the stress she is feeling, with the adjective only emphasising this point further. She ends her message by using an imperative with the modal verb must, again displaying the sense of urgency she wants to get across to the text receiver. In contrast, Amy only uses declarative sentences, giving her sense of voice a much calmer tone. The statement, we are ahead of the other groups, suggests that she doesn't see the need for Helen's panic. Interestingly, Amy uses the conjunction but in both of her declarative sentences, wants to protect Helen's positive face, and wants to suggest that it is in fact Helen who needs to be completing her work. But he said he is still waiting for you. Amy keeps to typical conventions of politeness in her message, but her use of declaratives could still hint towards the irritation she feels towards Helen's attitude in her previous message. There are lots of other things I could have picked out here, but I've kept my response relatively brief just to show you how you could write about these different sentence types. I hope you found this video useful. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.